this is my year. I feel it's the 13th year.
The Eagles are the ultimate heels always.
Do I care about wrestling? No. Do I know anything about it? Also, no.
Well, I'm mad that I did this.
Which he could just be like 15 iPhones in a trench coat. We don't know.
Defenses were lost trying to deal with Deebo when the quarterback was Brock Purdy.
In my opinion, this would work out great for both sides.
What happened in that Starbucks that said, let's turn this thing up a notch?
From Wondery, I'm Annie Agar, and this is The Offensive Line. Welcome to The Offensive Line, you guys. We're here to make some picks, talk some shit, and hopefully make you some money. I'm Annie Agar, your host here today, with our guest. He's the host of WWE Evolve on Tubi, and he's been here before, Peter Rosenberg. Welcome back, Peter, to the show. I'm glad we didn't scare you off.
No, you didn't scare me off, but I cannot believe I've added yet another job to do since I last talked to you, but somehow...
but the most important job that you've added to your repertoire, to your resume here is the job of a father. Is that correct? You got to tell people. Because this is a really weird thing that we've had happen on the show a couple times now, where guests have not been able to come on the show because things have been happening off the field drama, basically.
Your show is like somehow brings about the most important life drama, literally issues of life and death. But yes, I was booked the day that we ended up going into labor. And now little girl is 6. She'll be 7 weeks tomorrow.
That is crazy.
Whole human hanging out in these streets. She got to be around for Commanders wins, Commanders losses, acquisitions.
She's already seen more than Dan Snyder.
Yeah, no,
that's wild.
That was very exciting.
Wins.
Yeah, by the way, she's seen more success. She has seen more big playoff wins in her life. Literally, she made it for the Detroit game. So she has seen really big wins for this franchise. Yes, and literally, this is what life's so crazy. That same day that I was supposed to see you, on our way to the hospital, I got a missed call from my boss at WWE. And when I hit him back, he was like, hey, are you still interested in doing play-by-play? And I was like, yeah. And that is WWE Evolve, which starts
wild.
Yeah, this week, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock on Tubi.
Huge time for you.
I'm super excited.
You want to just buy a house now too while you're at it or something? Jeez.
I know I should do something baller, but then again, I don't know how much money is going to be coming from this new gig, and the having a baby thing is certainly not adding money to my pocket, but lots of exciting blessings is the point, Annie. I feel like all of us who grow up obsessed with sports have like some desire, like play-by-play is just an appealing thing. Oh, yeah. Like it's such a part of our lives. Like you pretend to do it in front of the TV, and so I'm stoked to do it. It is wrestling is weird because you're calling actual action, but there's also a story. So it's like this 2-layer thing that you're doing. It's actually kind of crazy.
No, but it's funny you say that real quick, because when you say it, we sit at home and do color and everybody, acts like an analyst. My brother, who longtime fan of the show, we'd turn off the volume on some football games and he would do play-by-play. I would do the color commentary. It was very, very entertaining. Not for my parents probably, but it was fun.
By the way, that could be another podcast in the works at Wondery for...
Yeah, I like the idea. Look at us.
You know what I'm saying? Write it down.
Oh, man. Okay, let's dive in. We have a lot to talk about this week, believe it or not, because we're less now than a week away from free agency kicking off. A lot of off-season things are happening. We just were talking about off-air. There's so much hype around certain things, but there are relatively good things to talk about because they do play a big part into next season, starting with the number one, which I know that you're a fan of, Peter, because of your Commanders. The Washington Commanders just got Jane Daniels, another weapon. They traded a 5th for none other than Deebo Samuel. Thoughts? I got to get your immediate thoughts on this because I feel like Commanders fans are leaning one way, and that's that they're happy about this. It was, a 5th, and San Francisco is kind of hesitant maybe on whether or not that was a good move for them. I think it was because he's got a big contract. He's owed $21.7 million in 2025. He's still got a lot left in the tank, in my opinion. So what are your thoughts on this? I'll share mine later. But as a Commanders fan, as that side of it, what are you feeling about this trade?
So there is a lot to it, as you said. Like there's money. there's the pick, there's the his availability in recent seasons. I think it's great. I think this is exactly why you want to have cap space and why you want to be able to move picks, because you want to give things a shot. Like, ultimately, the Commanders need a couple of things to be there. Now, I don't think anyone realized that they were a step away, but guess what? It kind of turned out they were. They're right there. Like, this isn't like, oh, great, we lucked into a better year. No, this is, hey, we were in the NFC Championship. We decided to fumble the ball all day long and get blown out. But you know what would have helped is if the ball wasn't in the hands of people who were not primetime players. And respectfully, after Terry McLaurin offensively, I mean, listen, De'Ami Brown is coming along. He's not a star. They need to add one more piece there. And I love the risk versus reward. To me, is tremendous. They have tons of cap money to spend. You risk a fifth and you get a taste of Deebo for a year. See if he's healthy. See if he can play the whole season. Then you can decide what you want to do after that. I have to imagine if it goes well, he would love having a second stint with Jaden Daniels. Like, the kind of dynamic player that they both are. What is a okay? Defenses were lost trying to deal with Deebo when the quarterback was Brock Purdy. Respectfully, now it's Jaden Daniels and Deebo. Like, that's a lot to try to think about on any given play with a guy who can be thrown to, who can take the snap, who you can hand it off to. So I love it. I think risk versus reward. If it doesn't work out, you blew a 5th round pick. That stinks. But Adam Peters knows this was a smart and calculated risk.
I mean, we talk about how versatile he is, how much of a gadget player he is. And like you said, how do you stop that? And I think he fits Washington's system much better with Cliff than with what Kyle Shanahan did, because Cliff tries to get the ball out of Jaden Daniels' hands. They run a ton of screens. Like, that's Deebo's bread and butter, right? The catch and run. But like you said, with De'Ami Brown and Terry McLaurin, like, he might not, Deebo's not your wide receiver 2. I feel like you might still need another weapon to go deep with Terry. But this is a great fit for Washington. I mean, do I want another threat in the North? No. This is great. I'm so happy for you guys.
You're absolutely right, though, about, yes, he's probably not the big over-the-top threat that they might still want, but maybe you hope that one of the guys you have can still develop into that, and this can be the other guy in that group who's just a friggin' problem, you know? And also, who knows Deebo better than Adam Peters?
Drafted him, right?
He certainly will know. Yeah, I think he did. Yep. I mean, I know their timeline was multiple years together, so he knows him well. And also, who do I trust more than Adam Peters? Every move he made last year was like, I'm sorry, if you had told anyone, hey, our team really loaded up. Oh, really? What'd they do? We went out and we got Bobby Wagner, Frankie Louvu, Austin Eckler. No one would have been like, oh, championship game, but they were all awesome. So, like, I trust the guy. Let's just go for it.
There are other wide receivers out there available. Green Bay, cough, cough. Devontae Adams is one of those receivers, and Cooper Kupp obviously is the other one. He's also available. He was officially cut Tuesday morning, and Cooper Kupp could be as well. Who, in your opinion, is the best option of those three? Of Deebo, of Devontae, of Cooper Kupp? And you can't say Deebo just because you guys just got him. But realistically, of the three, and I obviously don't think it is Deebo, but of the three, who would be your targeted guy? Who would you go after?
I don't know. You were so quick to say obviously it would not be Deebo. I don't know if it's obvious. I think Devontae is the most probably appealing, just like over the top, destroy a defense kind of receiver. He's the best pure receiver in the group. Whereas Cooper Kupp is a funky, awesome receiver, and Deebo, as you said, is very gadgety. But at the same time,
it's
I don't know, like
more of a
It's kind of more of a fit. It is more of a fit, and like also like Devontae, was Devontae ever happy in Vegas? He was kind of like, then he wants to be with Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, he didn't dazzle with Aaron Rodgers, if we're being honest. So.
No, and that might be his biggest flaw, is that he comes with baggage, and that baggage apparently is Aaron Rodgers. Like, can those two just go somewhere separately for once in their life? They probably live together at this point. It's kind of sickening.
Listen, when the history books are written, I guess Devontae will probably be seen as the best of the three. But to your point, it really is kind of the fit. And like, I love the fit. I love the fit for Deebo and us. And Deebo is that guy that whenever I was playing against him, I always think about players, what did they strike in you when you played them? And Deebo was always like, I feel like whenever he gets the ball, we can't tackle him. Like, it's always a problem. Like, I just don't want to deal with him. So so any of them are a good choice. I'm happy with where we went, but that's a cop-out answer, but that's what I got.
Before we move on, I have a quality. I want to pitch this idea to you because I tweeted it out today too, to get the people's feel for it. I'm doing some research and I had an opinion. What if the Packers, okay, we know Josh Jacobs wants wide receiver 1. We kind of know where he was leaning toward. Jordan Love apparently all up in Devontae's ear about coming to play for us. What if we traded Jair for Devontae straight up? Straight up. Jets need to fill a void with DJ Reed. I think $17 million for Jair as opposed to the $38 million for Devontae. In my opinion, this would work out great for both sides. But what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think Devontae is going to want to be around post Rodgers. I really don't. Like, I don't see what the appeal is there for him anymore. So Green Bay is clearly, unless he secretly hates Green Bay, which I don't think any of us think he does, that is clearly the sexiest destination for him. You will be welcomed back with open arms. People will be thrilled to see you. You get a young stud quarterback who is on the verge of greatness. Now, in all honesty, I thought Jordan was going to take one bigger step this year than he did. It was like he took a half a step, and then the injury to Brazil at the beginning of the year, like none of it was quite right this season. But to me, that's the sexiest destination. So if you're the Jets and you can get a great player on a defense that is supposed to be amazing but turned out not, and like, are we sure has the book been written on Sauce Gardner? Like, do we know that he's the shutdown guy he was supposed to be?
He made such an impact, and he had a couple turnovers. So he was an impact player.
Well, so why do you guys want to move on? Is it money and how much he was unavailable?
Because there's just inconsistency. Yes, I think it's just inconsistency. He's getting up there. He's not producing for us. I think, like, if we can get a package deal out of something for him, way better than what we would get with him, I think that's kind of the goal. And I know we're talking about DK and what we're going to offer for him, and that was looking like our first and maybe Dobbs or something. I don't like that talk. I don't like the first round pick talk, but I digress. I like the Jair for Devontae. That's where I'm leaning in all this.
Well, I guess I should get maybe Jair's unappealing then, considering we already have Marshawn Lattimore who can't get on the field. Do we need him and Jair sitting together every week?
I should be talking about how great Jair is. He is literally the best corner in the league, guys. Yes. He's amazing. You'd have to be crazy
to let go of him.
He's so consistent. Just a leader of men.
What I love most that he's always on the field and always consistent.
Okay, let's talk about someone else who maybe shouldn't see the field as much, but he's coming back for another year, you guys, and that is the one and only Travis Kelce. He's officially coming back for his 13th year in the league. And this is my theory, guys, okay? We're not going to do the hot takes of if Travis Kelce can still block, if he's still adequate to play in the NFL, all that stuff. We saw the highlights in the Super Bowl. Questionable to say the least. However, my take on this is the whole off the field drama of all this and why he came back. 13 is Taylor Swift's lucky number or something. She has something to do with 13. So in my opinion, that's the only reason he came back, is because she was like, no, this is my year. I feel it's the 13th year.
Let me see. I just wrote, I just asked Google, which is now asking ChatGPT, what's the deal with Taylor Swift and the number 13? It says Taylor Swift considers 13 her lucky number because of several coincidences associated with that number, including her birthday, the success of her first album, and award show seating. She was born on December 13th. She turned 13 on Friday the 13th. Her first album went gold in 13 weeks. Her first number one song had a 13-second intro. I mean, this is the dumbest. Well, Annie, I'm mad that I did this.
Yeah. Well, don't you feel wiser knowing that now? Can't you go to sleep at night now?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm so glad I have more information for the Swifties. But you could tell he wanted out. Like you could tell he was like, he to me did not give the energy of like, I just want to play ball and it's hard. He gave, I want to leave. I want to do other stuff. I've done it all. Let's be honest. Like, can we just be real for a second? Like, does the relationship of the Mahomes and the KELCE'S really make sense? Like, seriously, when he leaves the team, you're telling me Taylor Swift is still hanging with Brittany Mahomes? That's still happening?
I don't think so at all. I don't even know if I don't know the story with them or not, but I don't know if do they like each other? I don't know.
They supposedly get along and you see them in the suite hanging out and you know Travis is friends with Mahomes, but I don't want to go, too crazy here on a show that's about football, but there is a person out there, a cult of personality, who literally despises Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift openly dislikes. And Brittany Mahomes is known mostly for openly liking that person. I just don't see them all kicking it. I kind of felt like he was ready to move on, but the loss was so, not only did they lose, but he was ineffective. Like it was just a whack way to go out. What I'm going to enjoy about it is though, I feel like he comes back and I feel like this is the year they don't even make the Super Bowl.
So that brings me to another exciting topic. This might be right in your wheelhouse here, Peter. So I think so. I think this might mesh two of your most favorite things into one. As we were mentioning at the end of the season, it seemed like everyone hated the Chiefs. It wasn't too long ago. Everyone loved them, you guys. The Chiefs were kind of America's team because they turned everything around. Everybody loved Mahomes at the time. But now they're officially NFL's villains in WWE terms, Peter. They turned heel. Did I say that right? Is that correct? Okay. And do you know how I know that, guys? Because of recent WWE news. Heel turns in wrestling, I've learned this now, because it's big in the news right now, is when a good person becomes basically a villain, becomes a bad person. Which we'll get to what happened in the WWE in a second. But in your opinion, what other teams are at risk of turning heel in the NFL? Because there's a couple. It could be Eagles now that they could be like a new dynasty. Howie's doing some incredible things over there. Now literally releasing everybody in their secondary for hopefully not room for Myles Garrett, because that would be wild. Commanders are up there. They could be on the list too. The Lions, I might be leaning toward the Lions because fans were getting very upset at Detroit fans last year because Detroit fans like to talk. They like to talk, guys. And they couldn't for years. So I feel like all this pent-up anger is now being unleashed on Twitter, on X, whatever we call it, everywhere. So I think fans were kind of being like, Detroit's they're kind of obnoxious. So they might do a little turning of the heel. In your opinion, what team is at risk of that?
Now you're going too far. No, the Eagles, listen, I as a Commanders fan, the Eagles are the ultimate heels always. I mean, they're disgusting. Yeah. I loathe them. And honestly, I think Jalen Hurts is a heel. Like the pretty boy with the icy earrings who thinks he's so cute. They have Gilly out there doing the Gilly dance and like there's a dance craze with it. Even Saquon, who was like such a baby face in New York, and as a human being, he really is the ultimate baby face. He's a sweetheart. But like that, when I would see him in that Eagles green score a touchdown and then do the stupid running with his, I wanted to beat him senseless. Oh my, bro. Yeah. They have turned heel, and like they already are a heelish team to me, and then you mix it that they're KELCE connected too. I mean, how can the KELCE'S not be heels? They literally overnight became the most dominant personalities in our country. An offensive line. Tell me what deal was made with the devil that made a center one of the biggest stars in media. Some
NFL teams don't even know what their center sounds like. You never even heard your center talk.
You may not remember who your center is. I mean, I'm just being honest, right? Like, and yet this center is the biggest star of the world. Like, listen, you're having a great moment and ascent in your media career. Do you realize if you revealed that you were a sister-in-law somewhere to the KELCE'S, how much bigger you'd be? I'm not even kidding. It would be 1 second. Like, if you're like, no, my maiden name is KELCE. Even though you're not married. My name's KELCE Agar. Done. Out of here. Like, it's crazy. So include them. And somehow when the Chiefs play the Eagles, it's all Kelce everywhere. You can't escape it. So I associate that with the Eagles too. Nah, listen, man, 2 Super Bowls. When you go from 0 Super Bowls up until 2016 to now they're only 1 behind my Commanders by 2025, they're heels, bro.
When you put it that way, that's very frustrating. I would agree with that. And it plays into the whole Eagles fans. Everybody hates Eagles fans. Sorry, Eagles fans. They were nice to me at Super Bowl, but they were.
I came out of the championship weekend and I got ridiculed because I was so anti-Chief that I was like, I'm pulling for the Eagles because I hate the Chiefs that much. And then the videos started circulating of how the Eagles fans treated the Commanders fans at the championship game. And I was like, what was I thinking? These are the worst people. I know so many Eagles fans, like so many who I love. For some reason, their bad fans are the worst people on planet Earth. They're the worst bad you can find.
Yeah. That's a good way of putting it. Like when they're bad, they're the worst.
The worst.
Okay, let's talk about the WWE breaking news. Because for those of you that don't watch WWE or don't know what's happening or haven't seen the copious amounts of memes with John Cena on Twitter/X, big John Cena news happened. And it was one of the craziest heel turns, probably. I mean, you tell me, you're the expert here. Craziest heel turns in the WWE. He turned on Cody Rhodes. And I realize this is a big story. Do I care about wrestling? No. Do I know anything about it? Also no. But will I be using that meme? Probably. So I'd love to know the basis behind it, because I love, as the majority of people on social media do, love the drama. And I know it's a big deal. So explain to me, maybe in NFL terms or in your best way without making me bored of the conversation, explain to me what happened in the WWE this week that we all should be aware of.
So, I mean, essentially the what makes this so glorious, and yes, it is probably the most notable heel turn of all time.
Okay.
Is that John Cena has been the most loved, good guy there is. Yep. He was a bad guy at the very beginning of his career, but from the time anyone had heard of him, he's been a good guy. He literally
Make-A-Wish, right? Did a bunch of Make-A-Wish?
Has the record for most wishes granted of any human being alive.
Unbelievable.
Okay. He's granted like literally, I don't want to get the number wrong, but I feel like it's over 1,000 wishes. He's literally made so many kids' lives. So the idea was always, everyone was like, oh, we just want to see him, including myself. I just want to see him be a heel. I just want to see what he'd be like. We just want to see it. You can't. He sells too much merch. The kids love him too much. It's just not worth it. So then he comes back and he announces it's his final run.
Okay.
He's retiring in December.
Okay.
And why now, on your swan song, when everyone's going to cheer you, would you possibly turn? Mm-hmm. It's just an impossibility. And knowing him from over the years, I can say one thing. I don't think he chose this. I think this was a group effort, and he is an absolute team player. And whatever you guys want me to do, I'm down for it. And this is why people love Triple H running WWE so much, because he's down to do some stuff that you're just like, whoa. They actually had a title change last night that was shocking. But so the way it was done, the fact that it included The Rock, I mean, these are guys who have had multiple WrestleMania main events against each other. So now to see them together as these evil powers, it's just so fun. Like, listen, I'll put it in sports terms. The Super Bowl sucked. Okay.
I was going to say, we need to bring it back to NFL because I'm losing you.
You're getting lost. The Super Bowl absolutely sucked.
Yeah. Right.
And I didn't watch the last 7 minutes. I recorded a podcast. I left. Done. WWE, you do something like this.
Yeah.
WrestleMania can't suck. Like, it just can't. It is going to be just for the entrance now, where we're going to have evil Rock walking out with evil John. That entrance alone is going to make it awesome. And so it was just a really exciting moment where when you think you've seen everything that can happen, something else happens. And now wrestling is so popular that everyone's talking about. Like, it is interesting. You said to me, you really didn't know the term heel turn.
Yeah.
And in my family and life, it's very known because it's of my work.
Right.
But in reality, you're completely right. And I'll make a parallel. It's also weird to me how everybody had an opinion on Drake Kendrick Whereas, someone said to me, I went on my friend's radio show and he goes, well, what about, how big Jay-Z Nas was? Or no, he said Biggie Tupac. I said, Biggie Tupac, hip hop in 1996, 97 was minuscule relative to what it is now. And so the conversation's completely different. Same thing with this John Cena heel turn. As big a deal as it was when Hulk Hogan turned heel in 1996, not the same, because wrestling's just so big right now and social media fuels everything and makes everybody see it.
Yeah. That's a great,
Annie just fully glazed over. I've never been on a show where the host dozed off, but it just happened.
I would be checking my phone, but I'm using it to record, guys. So that was a bonus for Peter. No, it's very interesting you brought up Kendrick and Drake, because I feel like, and the halftime show I thought was great. I mean, I saw it in person. I thought it was a great show. Some people didn't like it, said it was not very entertaining, but the majority of people watched it because of the drama between Kendrick and Drake. Same with like Saquon. Everybody tuned in for the first Eagles game to see how Saquon did because of the drama between the Giants. Like, you need that off-field drama just for all of America to tune in. Another example, USA Canada, the hockey game we just had a couple days ago.
Fire.
Oh, absolute cinema. And it was a normal hockey game in the middle of February. I've never seen that many Americans sit down and watch a hockey game, but they did it because of the drama between Canada and the USA.
Isn't that insane?
That drama. It was so good. It was so good.
But by the way, you're saying like we need that drama. That's why wrestling's friggin' awesome to us, because that's what it always has. The truth is, a lot of wrestling fans out there on a regular week, if you're busy, you might fast forward through the matches.
Yeah.
Because the matches on a regular TV week, they'll be cool. Right. I want to see the drama. Who said what? You know what I mean? And that's what wrestling always brings to the table. And that's why it's all so fun. You just rarely get duds.
Right.
And sports, as much as you love it, sports will provide straight up duds on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's a great point. And maybe I should learn WWE and do a WWE meeting, Peter, because that's literally what I do in the NFL, is playing off the drama of everything. But I'd have to know a lot more about it.
But by the way, it would be really funny though.
It would be really funny.
And you can get all the merch for the people. So like you could look. It's like it's going to be even better than like you putting on the different jerseys, because you'll wear their T-shirt, their like headband thing. Like it would be really funny. That would be funny. Okay, I'll look into that. Okay, think about it. If you also tuned out of that wrestling bit, not that I did at all, here's a summary of Peter explaining the WWE to me. Oh, that's amazing. I love this meme. That's so good. That's true. It's true. Hey, I'll talk cover 2. I'll talk different packages, different blitz packages any day. But WWE, man, I lost you. You did good. You did good considering.
Thank you. Well, that brings me to another question. You're a part of the Wondery family. We've talked about this before. You got to tell me and tell the people what's up with the over the top.
Oh, the me and Michelle Beadle vehicle you're referring to.
Do I get a little inside information into that?
Well, I will say this. If anyone out there who enjoyed Over the Top, there is information and news coming very soon of a Beadle Rosenberg situation.
Oh.
Sitch incoming.
Oh,
not Stitch. Sitch incoming. Info soon come.
I like it. All right. A little teaser. That's why we have you on the show.
There you go.
Some excitement. Talk about the drama. Talk about off-season drama. All right, guys, when we come back, the big story of the Combine, of course, and it might not be what you're thinking. Stay right here on the offensive line. Welcome back to the offensive line, you guys. The Combine is officially wrapped up. If you want analysis on Will Howard's pitiful performance, I was going to say pathetic, but we won't give him that. He's got a lot to learn. It was not good, by the way. But we will be covering the more important storyline, the most important storyline of Combine Week, and that was the heavyweight showdown between two analysts, Ian Rapaport and Jordan Schultz, at none other than Starbucks. Did you hear about this, Peter? You heard about this
I
little
did.
scuffle?
I did.
Interesting, right? It's interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I don't honestly know what the confrontation was about. We can throw out our ideas. I don't know if it was like, oh, you took my breaking news before I found. Well, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, what would they argue over? Their sources?
Well, here's the thing. I think all of these insiders all have like obviously competition, bitterness, etc. I think it's more overt even with them than it is like people in our world of like the just straight ahead broadcasty type, where I think it still exists for everyone who's in the field and competing for eyeballs, et cetera. But when you're competing for like information, I mean, think about it like this. Have you ever known, I work at ESPN. I still laugh every time we release a story and it says, as confirmed by Adam Schefter and so-and-so and so-and-so. I'm like, they have to, or the article will say by Buster Olney and Jeff Passan. I'm like, no, because that's how personal everyone takes this stuff. Yes. So the idea that there would be history is not surprising. The question is, what happened in that Starbucks that said, let's turn this thing up a notch?
That is the question. That is it. Maybe it was the added caffeine. Maybe that just took him over the edge. You know, he just maybe Ian didn't get the cake pop he wanted.
I was going to say, or the last cake pop. What if the last cake pop went to someone and then all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Those Valentine's Day cake pops, I would fight over that for sure. They were good. I have to admit, 500
calories
of pure goodness. No, actually, I haven't either. But I've heard they're really good because
you do look at the calorie. You do look at the calorie intake to see if you can do it. And you're like, I do.
Dang it! I can have a bite, but no. Okay, well, in terms of this little scuffle that they had, we're going to play a little game because, as I mentioned earlier, it is March Madness, guys. So we have to get in the March Madness mode. Okay, we're going to do a March Madness bracket. This bracket's going to be a little different, though. We have seeded NFL insiders, and we will decide who would win in a fight. So this isn't in terms of who the best insider is. This is just in a fight, Peter. Okay.
Okay.
And no Jay Glazer because he trains UFC fighters. So I'll go through the seeding here so that we know what we're up against. And then we're going to start making our bracket. At the number 1 seed, the number 1 overall, obviously, Adam Schefter. Number 2 overall, Diana Orsini. Number 3 is Mike Garafolo. Number 4, Jordan Schultz. At the 5 seed, Ian Rapaport. At the 6 seed, Tom Pelissero. 7 is Peter Schrager. And 8 is Dov Kleiman, who we have yet, it's TBD if he's a real human being or not. I know that's all over social media.
I know.
But which he could just be like 15 iPhones in a trench coat. We don't know.
He lives in Israel,
AI.
right?
Yeah, right. It could be. He doesn't even speak English. He just uses ChatGPT to get out.
All right, I'm into this.
Are you ready for our first round?
Yeah. The first round, Adam Schefter and Dov Kleiman.
Yep.
First of all, I want to say that this is March after all. This game would likely be the 10 o'clock tip on CBS. It's not like True TV. This is the late night CBS vehicle right here. 100%. And Schefter cruises. Absolutely. Schefter cruises.
Might not even be real. What is he going to fight? There's nobody there. Okay.
Yeah. We don't know if Dov's even a real person, and Shefty's in pretty good shape.
Right. All right. Let's move on to the next matchup. Jordan Schultz, Ian Rapaport, which was our key matchup in Starbucks. It's sponsored by Starbucks, by the way. This matchup.
Right. Well, this one is must see TV.
Must see.
This is 7:47 on TNT. Right. Yep. Like this is Kenny and Charles and Clark Kellogg right 100%. Before getting you ready. This is a big dog matchup.
We have the whole pregame show before. Oh, this is a huge matchup. 100%.
This is big. I don't physically know what Jordan Schultz looks like.
He's a big dude. We had him on the show. He's a friend of the pod. I think I don't know how tall he is. He's got to be 6'2", 6'3". He's a big dude. And I will say he can get angry. I think he can get angry. So I think he could. Yeah,
I've never seen Ian turn up like that, and maybe Schultz has like this rich kid something to prove thing going on.
I think Ian might be a sneaky, a little bit of the edge here, especially if he calls security. But
I'm leaning for some reason rich guy crazy and giving it to Jordan Schultz. Yeah, okay. but he is a surprise. He's a dog. Like he's a 3-point dog, but he wins.
Okay. All right. I like it. I'll take it. Okay. Next matchup, we have Diana Rossini and Peter Schrager.
Respectfully to Peter Schrager, and considering the only person in this group I'm friends with is Diana, but also considering the Italian New Jersey in her, I'm going.
I'd be terrified.
Let's go Diana Rossini, annihilating Peter Schrager in the that's the 10:05 TNT tip. Really small
but
strong
mighty.
game.
She's small but mighty, 100%. Okay, Mike Garafolo and Tom Pelissero. This is a good matchup. This is a very even matchup, I feel like.
Hold on. I have to look up their photos to get a better idea.
I think Tom's pretty small too.
Yeah, Tom,
no offense, Tom.
I'll tell you what. Tom's photos aren't impressing me. I'm not feeling great about Tom's photos. No, he's handsome. Mike.
Oh, very handsome. Very handsome.
He's a very handsome guy, but he has like a tiny man's waist. Maybe I'm just jealous. Yeah, no. This is a boy versus a man, and respectfully, Garofalo is going to beat Pelissero down.
Let's go, Mike. All right. We've got a great round 2 here. Okay, so moving over to round 2, we have Schefter, Jordan Schultz, Rossini against Garofalo.
I hate to go chalk here, but I mean, how do you not? Like, the rich kid, he's got a lot of moxie, but ultimately, Adam Schefter is a grown man.
Schefter's going to take him down, 100%.
He's been questioned before. Have you ever listened to the tone with which Schefter talks? I often joke on the show that every answer he gives sounds like it should end with the words, "you idiot."
That's so true. That is so. And to preface, nicest guy. I love it.
I've never seen him be anything but nice.
And
we told him this though, and you'll be jealous to know we have a drop of just Schefter going, "You idiot," that we play all the time. Yeah, because
That's amazing.
It sounds like it's what he's saying, even though he does it. But he's too much. He's the mightiest in the biz. The cell phone king. There's no one. You're not messing with this man. Give it to Adam Schefter. Big win. Schefter advances over Schultz to the final. And again, respectfully, listen, Diana and I came into ESPN at the same time.
Okay.
She has done nothing while I have, failed into oblivion. She has done nothing but kick ass and take names. Rossini beats Garofalo. We get the dream matchup, Schefty and Rossini in the final. Like you dream about.
This would be must-watch TV. I would be scared for whoever is involved or anywhere near this fight because this would be a very intense battle. The issue here is, would Schefter be able to take it to Diana? Like, would the man in him, the respectable human being, the gentleman, would he be able to do it?
Yeah, I think he ends up holding back early on. Yeah. And like by the time he does that big nut shot from Rossini, and then like straight to the face, it's over. And Rossini is your champion.
Wow.
I don't know how the fight ends, if it's knockout, pin, whatever. Rossini goes over. She takes out Schefter and is the champion of whatever we just discussed.
That is very fitting because knowing me, I would have bet on Schefter, and based on my past betting experiences, that checks out. That I would have lost. That checks out 100%. So I like that. I like that matchup. Diana coming in from behind. Wow.
Big shout out to Diana Rossini. What an honor that would be for her. Come on. You get the one shining moment afterwards. It would be beautiful.
Couple nut shots just like John Cena. It'd be great. Okay.
That's exactly right.
See? Look at that, making WWE references. I'm learning.
Yeah, I see you, kid.
All right, we're going to play another game. Are you a fan of Jeopardy? I used to stay up late to watch Jeopardy. Late as a kid. I used to stay up to 8 o'clock. Did you ever do that?
I enjoy my my Jeopardy, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, good. Well, we're going to test that today because we're going to put our own spin on it and play a game we're calling Existential Jeopardy. So what we're going to do, you know how Jeopardy works, you guys. You answer with who is, right? With your answer. So
wait, we're going to have... This is crazy. Okay, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be a long game.
Okay.
We're going to get deep with that and try to explain who these people are as a player. So I'll give you an example of how this goes, okay? So let's see our board here. Let's go quarterback for 400. This quarterback coming off a career year has also had paranormal encounters. I'm going to go Sam Darnold on this one. So now you say, instead of that though, you have to say, who is Sam Darnold? So I already messed up Jeopardy. Sorry guys. This is why I'm not on Jeopardy. I'm not smart enough to be on Jeopardy. But who is Sam Darnold? So now my existential part of all this is, who is Sam Darnold? Who is that quarterback? Are we going to see him playing on the Steelers? Are we going to see him ending his career early? Who exactly is Sam Darnold? I think he is it's existential. You have to tell who the person
is. So deep. And I just want to know why he'd end his career after a great year like this. Just retire?
Anything's possible. Anything is possible.
Sure.
We get deep on this show, Peter. And he could pull an Aaron Rodgers, go on some retreat somewhere, do whatever you want to do as this existential Jeopardy commences.
I like this.
I think he is still a very skilled quarterback. I think he's more of a system guy because I think the success that he had was with Kevin O'Connell. But I think he's still a great quarterback, and I think any team would be happy to have him this season. What are your thoughts on Sam Darnold? Do you agree with my who is he?
Yeah, I do. I do agree.
Thank you.
You know what? Let's have fun. Let's have him come on back to the Jets.
Yeah, come on back to the Jets. Have a few more paranormal experiences. Okay, your turn to select a category and a price.
Let's go. Let's keep it quarterbacks. Let's go quarterbacks 800.
This enigmatic
Yes.
ayahuasca enthusiast did his own research and once hosted Jeopardy himself. The one and only Peter.
I'm gonna go with who is Aaron Rodgers and listen,
that is
man,
correct.
Listen, man, I love Bobby. I love Bobby Kennedy, and I love everything going on. I love ayahuasca. I love Egypt. I love football. I love New York. I love a job. I love to play. Please let me play.
That's perfect. That's exactly who Aaron is. You couldn't have
Isn't that
pinned,
Aaron?
That's perfect. Throw in no, that pretty much captured it all.
He
doesn't
loves
really date
Bobby.
anymore, does he?
He loves football.
Yep.
He loves his house in New Jersey. He would love an opportunity to play.
Oh, Devontae. You got to throw in Devontae. He loves Devontae.
I love Devontae. I love Vontae. Love Vontae.
But they have cute nicknames. They probably have friendship.
I know.
Yep.
They totally
That's
do.
exactly it. I like it. Okay. I'll take another one. Let's do running backs for 200. This running back always gets 1,000 yards, but may not even be good. This could be a couple options, but I'm going to go with Najee Harris. Am I correct on Najee?
You have to ask the question.
Who is Najee Harris? Sorry. And to answer that question, who is he? Is he Jalen Warren's backup? Is he just a running back that we think is mediocre but hits 1,000 rushing yards every season? I don't know who Najee is. I don't think he knows who he is. Is he a running back with a fumbling issue? Who is Najee Harris? I don't have an answer to that. It's Existential Jeopardy.
It's a great question. Honestly, literally, he's just like football player. Like if you were to be like, hey, Najee Harris is here, right?
Yeah.
Like you're at a restaurant, you go, Najee Harris is here.
Yeah.
I would go, so? I'm sure a lot of people are.
He is never coming on this pod.
but by the way, he's good.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I totally agree.
It's
he's
not
probably going to have an
insult.
existential crisis. No, it's true though.
It's a hell of a career. I'm sure he'd say the same thing about me. They go, hey, Peter Rosenberg's here. You go, so? We're just on the same page.
Hey, Peter, I would never do that to you, just
Thank
so you know.
Thank
you. Your turn. Pick a last one. You gotta go wide receiver. We haven't done any wide receivers.
Yeah. Let me go wide receiver for 800.
This wide receiver was the prize of free agency before being tagged.
Who is T. Higgins? Listen, is he the man? Is he the man made by Joe Burrow, or is he the man who makes Joe Burrow?
Oh, what a bar. What an absolute bar. That may be the line of the show.
Because a lot of people like to go on TV and say, oh, Joe Burrow, he's not very good. He just happens to have the best receivers. If he didn't have Chase and Higgins, he'd be nobody. But we don't know that, bro.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
We don't know.
I don't think Joe will win a Super Bowl without T and Jamar, but they might not win without Joe. So you just don't know. Ooh. It's up in the air.
See?
That was fun round of existential. It makes you think internally a little bit. We're getting deep here, guys.
And also, what's up with the name T?
It's gonna be short for something.
Oh, it is. It's Maurice William Higgins.
I knew it. Yes.
I like that he went T-E-E though.
Right.
It makes you think it's
kind of like your daughter, like the 3 letters. It works.
It's short and it works.
Yeah. So she's going to be a future wide receiver that gets tagged by the Bengals, basically.
Well, no, my daughter's going to be a future quarterback because she's named after the greatest young quarterback in the NFL.
Obviously.
Maya Jaden Rosenberg. By the way,
Maya Jaden.
It was the best. I just want to tell you, as like a huge football fan that you are, do you know how fun it was to name her Jaden this year?
When I first heard that, I thought your wife is probably the coolest person in the world to allow that to happen.
So it worked. It was like sometime, it might've been the Bears game when it happened. Yeah. And we knew we wanted a J name and then for the middle name. And then we were like, they literally, he was on the screen as he always is on Sunday. But I think what happened was they threw his name up like to show statistics. And she was just like, what about she said, what about Jaden?
Wow. She initiated it.
I went, don't you threaten me with a good time, miss.
Wow.
We will. And then we loved it. Now we love it so much. We're like, should we have just gone first name Jaden? Because it's so pretty and we love it.
But the cool thing is you have the ability she could be, go by Jaden. Like let her decide.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. If you really want it, you could say, her first name's Maya, but everyone calls her Jaden.
Right.
You can do whatever you want.
Happens all the time.
And also, plus MJ for a girl is fire.
Oh,
like it's got a lot.
I didn't even think of that.
No, we balled out with, if I'm being totally honest, we balled out with the name for this kid.
You did. Really top tier.
And one day the photo is coming. The Jaden holding Jaden.
Oh, 100%.
My hope is for Fanatics Fest this year to get that photo op must happen.
I will literally share that to the podcast page. I will share that to my own page if that happens. That's amazing. Much better than stupid names like, I don't know, Bronze or Golden. I don't know who named their kids that. That's just weird. All right, guys, up next, we get a little offensive about the potential number 1 overall pick right here on the offensive line. Welcome back to the offensive line, guys. It's now one of my favorite parts of the show. We get to rant a little bit here, Peter, which this is just healthy for everyone. Not that we haven't been ranting the entire podcast so far, but this is called No Offense. So you are familiar with the show. You did this last time. I don't remember what you ranted about last time. Do you?
It was sports related. I feel like we kept
doing
sports.
Had it been Commanders related, maybe, or probably whatever was trending in the. Yeah.
But we can just say whatever.
Whatever you want to talk about. You just have to start it off with no offense.
No offense. Go yourself, Annie.
Right? See? Perfect. Don't you feel better?
I felt so good.
I feel better. I'm going to go cry in the corner now. Just kidding. Okay. No, that's exactly. You get that is the exact premise. You can say whatever you want. Because when you say no offense, it's not going to be offensive. Everybody knows that. So I'll start off. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm getting excited. Sorry. Okay. No, do you have questions, preliminary questions before we get into this?
No, I'm ready.
Okay. I'll do my rant first, and then you can rant. So, no offense, but I've been watching Cam Ward highlights lately, guys. I went down a little rabbit hole on TikTok the other night. I spent way too much time watching, and that man is way too nonchalant, okay? When I'm in my living room freaking out at a game, and I'm moving around and have more stress than he does in the actual pocket, that gives me pause. That gives me question for concern. So the team's looking to draft him. I'd be a little concerned about that, okay? I get wanting to be calm under pressure, but that's a level of calm even Buddha hasn't achieved yet. It's a little bit scary how the man doesn't even move his feet sometimes. He's partaking in the Shane Gillis medication plan of couple of beers when he's getting guys blitzing him and has no wide open receivers. The man is way too calm in the pocket. It stresses me out. It's something to look at. It's a cause for concern, NFL teams. That is my rant for the week.
I'm not mad at that.
It's scary. It is scary how calm he is.
But I will tell you, I'm not offended either.
Dang it. Well, it was supposed to be a shot at you.
But you said no offense. And why would I be offended, honestly? I don't know Cam Ward.
That's true. Cam Ward should be offended. Anybody who's taking Cam Ward should be offended. That stresses me the fuck out.
I don't know what it's like to worry about because I have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So weird.
That's a great line. Just full of the good lines today. Okay, your turn to rant.
It's two things about politeness. All right. No offense. Uber drivers. Like, I know you're just in your car giving me a ride. And I also know that some people don't tip and are assholes.
Yeah.
But you're still providing a service and I need a modicum of politeness. I take a lot of Ubers when I'm traveling, right? That airport Uber is an expensive ride. You could get a big tip from this and you're making pretty decent money on the ride. You're talking about, I'm going to JFK or Newark. These are $100 rides, right? Okay, I know you all gave up on getting out to grab the bags. That's over. Unless you're getting black, okay? And unfortunately these days, the companies that I work for go up to black, but then you can't get black, right? So I'm stuck with your business comfort or electric comfort or XL. And these people are just sitting there listening to a podcast and you're not grabbing my bag. Fine. I don't travel heavy anyway. No worries. Can you say hello? Can you say something? Can you say thank you? I literally get out of cars and go, have a great day, drive safe. Always. I'm saying nothing. Yeah. Nothing. No response. These people are monsters.
That's a great rant. That's a great.
Thank you. It's been bothering me a lot recently. Like,
do you want, what if they're too conversational and they have a whole conversation with you? That seems a lot,
listen,
right?
then I would probably rant. I would probably rant about that, but I'd rather have someone in their attempt to be polite talk a little too much, because they'll figure it out when my headphones are on.
Oh yeah.
Like,
and they pay attention to that sometimes.
So like, by the way, my headphones are on. I'm not trying to chat the whole time. I'm just saying, when I get in and get out, can you at least be nice and have a little smile? That's all.
Be pleasurable. Be a decent human being. I get that.
And you know what? While I'm at it, Annie, one other thing. If I'm walking with my dogs and you have your dog, and your dog like lunges or barks or is crazy towards my dog, I don't care. They're dogs. But you do have to say sorry.
Right.
You do have to say.
Great one.
I don't care. I'm not mad. They're dogs. It's fine. But don't just keep walking and act like I wasn't there with my dogs. Just go, I'm so sorry. I do it all the time. My dogs bark sometimes at dogs, and I go, I'm sorry, he's an idiot. You know, you say something. You be polite. Idiots.
Hey, Adam Schefter would apologize. Just bring the background. No, it's true. People do that with their kids too. Just be aware. It's just self-awareness, people. Be self-aware of how you're impacting people in your
How are your creatures impacting other people? Be nice.
Exactly. Your creatures. They can't all be named Jaden. Okay, Peter, thank you so much for joining us on the pod. It is always a pleasure. Hopefully you'll come back again. We can talk Commanders when they're a little bit closer to the season, when we get to see Scary Terry in action with Deebo back there. It'll be a good year.
I look forward to it, and I will bore you on wrestling whenever you want, Annie. You just let me know.
Absolutely. And if you don't want to do that, which we highly advise not, he is also the host of WWE Evolve on Tubi. So go check him out there. Good luck to that new venture. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. I want your feedback. I want to see what you think of me as
100%.
play-by-play. It's
that
a new show.
Me to watch it. I'm just kidding.
You're starting fresh from the beginning. You'll know. You can learn who these people are.
Absolutely. I will be a good, maybe someone to bounce things off of, because I don't know it well. So
Tubi's free.
It is. Well, that's right. Now I do. All right.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it.
And keep an eye out for the new project on Wondery that you tipped us off on. That'll be exciting. Very excited to see what's coming down. All right, guys. One thing before we go: free agency will be underway by the time we get back on, which means one thing and one thing only: GMs will be making some pretty obvious mistakes. There's a scene in Arrested Development that sums this up perfectly. Tobias tells Lindsay they could try an open marriage, saying it never works, but it might work for us. It's one of my favorite lines. I quote it all the time. And they're not alone. NFL GMs do this all the time. So let's do some examples. Let's start with Rodgers to the Giants. For example, they have no offensive line. They was terrible literally in the same exact stadium last year. They'll probably piss off neighbors by trading for Devontae Adams because they're attached at the hip. The team is also embarrassed and desperate. It will literally not work for them. But this might work for us. I just love the thought process there, guys. Let's do another one. The Jets trading up for Cam Ward. They've ruined every quarterback they've drafted. They have a defensive-minded head coach in their first year. They couldn't make it work with the first ballot Hall of Famer. It will literally not work for anyone, but it might work for us. And lastly, making Kirk Cousins your starter. Guys, he will literally be 37 years old in mid-August. He looked horrible after tearing his Achilles, never came back from it, got benched for a rookie, constantly gets these huge contracts and underperforms. This will not work for anyone. But guys, say it with me, this might work for us. I swear these NFL GMs say this to themselves in the mirror before they make these big trades. Does it work out? Probably not. It probably never does. But you know what? The confidence is there. That is it for this week on the offensive line, you guys. Be sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts. You can watch our full podcast episodes on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And stay tuned. Next week, we might have some big things happening, guys. I'll be out in LA. So we might have a special show. Just stay tuned for that. And as always, you guys, I will see you next week. And Des didn't catch it.